One of the most important uses of logic is deduction, which means taking things we already believe and then using them to deduce new beliefs or new things which we should believe. Let's take an example. Suppose we believe that if it is raining, then Andrew takes an umbrella. And we might also observe that it is raining. So we can add that to our beliefs. And we would hope that from these two beliefs, we should be able to conclude that therefore Andrew takes an umbrella. In logic, this is called an argument. We start from premises and use them to deduce a conclusion. We would want to know that this argument is valid in the sense that if I do believe the premises, then I should believe the conclusion. Or put another way, we would want to know that it's not possible for the premises to be true while the conclusion is false. To analyze this using the tools we have, first I would need to convert this argument into the language of propositional logic. So let's invent some propositional variables. Let's say P means it is raining, and Q means Andrew takes an umbrella. Using these variables, we can translate the premises and the conclusion into propositional formulae. The first premise says, if it is raining, then Andrew takes an umbrella. That's P implies Q. The second premise says, it is raining, which is P. And the conclusion says, therefore, Andrew takes an umbrella, so therefore, Q. And this is what's called an argument form. This is the form of the argument, which doesn't include the information about what P and Q mean, but it's the logical form of the argument in the sense that if I'm convinced by this argument with these propositions about raining and umbrellas, then I should be convinced by the same kind of argument, even if premises were different, if they talked about different propositions. And the question is it possible that the premises are true while the conclusion is false? Or the opposite, should I believe the conclusion, assuming I do believe the premises? To test this, let's use a truth table. I've got my two variables, P and Q. And let's consider the possible values that P and Q could take. Either they're both true, or P is true and Q is false, or P is false and Q is true, or they're both false. And these four rows correspond with the four possible situations that we might be in, or we could interpret them as four kinds of people. So each kind of person has some beliefs about whether or not it's raining, and some belief about whether or not I take my umbrella. And we want to know, should I believe the conclusion, assuming I do believe the premises? In order to do that, we need to work out which of these four kinds of people does believe the premises. So let's write out our premises, which are P implies Q and P. In this column, let's fill out the truth values of P implies Q, which are true, false, true, and true. And in this column, we fill out the truth values of P, which are true, true, false, and false. And my question is, who believes the premises of this argument? Well, there is only one row where both of the premises are true, which is this one. This is the only row where we believe both of the premises. So we would hope that in this row the conclusion is true. The conclusion for this argument form is Q. Well, let's fill in the column for Q, which is true, false, true, false. And what we want to know is, does everyone who believes the premises also believe the conclusion? In this case, the answer is yes. There's only one kind of person in this truth table who does believe both premises, and they do believe the conclusion. And we would therefore conclude that this argument form is valid.